startup launcher screen shows the repository folder and project folder. User can select any repository from here and select project as per their requirement. So my created project name is the hotel booking system. So click on that and click the login button. So here you can see our first main screen where we have to create our meta model first. So here you can see some types, the type browser, object browser, meta model browser. So if you go to the meta model browser, here you can see the project, graph type and content object types. So when you go to the project, here you got the list of graph that you created for that particular project, and if you click on some particular graph, then it will show you some content inside that graph. You have the object types you have. So first go to the graph browser, right click on the projects and new, you can add new projects from the here. So our first step is to go to the object tool. You can define as many as object you want to create. So for my project I have some objects type like hotel room, royal room user. So when I click on the hotel, here you can define a name for your object, some properties here, right click and add properties. So here I have two, for one is a hotel name string data type, one is hotel name hotel id with number data type, and you can save it. And after that you can go to the symbol editor and you can define a particular customized symbol for your object type. So here for my object hotel, I create a symbol for the hotel like this. And if you right click on the symbol and go to the format, you can customize your text or symbol from here, like select any properties you want to add, a hotel id or hotel name for that particular object, the text settings, lines and position and size and so on. So let's move to the next. Now we have to create a relationship tool. So inside this you can define your relationship. So here I need only one, which is transition. I don't need any properties for this relationship right now. Our next step is go to the role tool. So here you can define uh, as many role tool you want to define, but I define two. One is transition source and one is transition target. So here if you see for the transition source, I don't need, okay, I define a property inside that which is called action, the string data type. And if you see inside the object see editor, you can see here I define the actions here. And my second is transition target, and for that I add the arrow and fill that with some color. You can select color, fill, style from here. To complete our meta model, the last step is to create a graph tool. So here is a graph tool window. So here you can see some types: basic, types, binding, subgraph and constraints. So I add one. Inside the basic you can define name for your particular graph. Here you can see the hotel booking for user. I created a graph for users, and you can add properties for that particular graph. Inside the types you can see the three panes here: object, relationship and roles. You can add those from here for each of them. And after adding the types you can add bindings as per the types. And after that you can see the constraints here. MetaEdit Plus have some basic constraints inside, inbuilt constraints. So you can see the connectivity, occurrence, port, uniqueness has some predefined constraints. So here I add the hotel may occur at most one time constraint. Here you can see you can select any object from here. And my second constraint is property room id in the raw room must have unique values. So you can select any object from the here and any properties for that particular object that you want to make that unique. Now save it and go to the creation model procedure. Now to create a model, inside the graph pane right click and create graph. You can see here for user the hotel booking I create for the hotel booking users. Now click on this, and here is our model for the hotel booking system. So here you got your customized objects, you can just drag and drop here to create this model. And you can see select this action, then you can add properties to the particular object by selecting that, by clicking that here name for the user, or you can see the hotel, then hotel ID, hotel name. Now if I want to add a second hotel here and give some random ID here and OK, then it will show the error because we defined a constraint for the hotel that we don't need any second hotel inside our model. So it says hotel may occur at most one time, additional cancelled. Okay, and for this room, if you can see here the ID for the room is 10 and for basic room is 5. So if I change this ID from 5 to 10, okay, then it will show that you cannot define same ID to both hotels. So here are some predefined constraints inside the MetaEdit Plus that user can use for their models.